Hi, I'm Nancy Blotner. At Caldwell University, we believe that all citizens should be informed about the important issues that affect their daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn Resnick, Accounting, Tax, and Advisory, where forward thinking creates results. The Fidelco Group. ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services. Meridian Health. QualCare Inc., a managed care company administering health plans that care about your health care. Caldwell University. And by the North Ward Center. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by bestofnj.com, covering all New Jersey has to offer.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Look at that face. She's smiling. You know why? Because that's Maggie Doyne, founder and CEO of an organization called Blink Now. The other thing about Maggie is that just a few hours ago, she was selected as the 2015 CNN Hero of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How amazing is that?
It's unbelievable. The whole last 24 hours has felt kind of like a dream. It's surreal.
We're doing the show right before Thanksgiving 2015, and literally, my notes said that you were one of the top 10 CNN Heroes of the Year, and our executive producer, John Eichlin, said, wait a minute, this just happened. You were selected by our friends at CNN as the Hero of the Year.
It just happened.
How much money is that?
$100,000.
Oh, that? Tell folks what this means, and by the way, tell everyone what Blink Now is and why it's so important.
Well, when I was really young, about 18 years old, everyone around me was going to college, and I'm from suburban New Jersey, so
Mendham.
That's kind of, yep.
You and Chris Christie. You're more famous than he is now. Go ahead.
And at the very last moment, I decided to travel and kind of take some time to find myself and figure out why I was here and what I wanted to do. Fast forward, 20,000 miles, and I ended up in northeastern India during the civil war that was happening just northeast in Nepal. And I traveled to Nepal with a backpack when I was 19, and I saw many, many orphan children, and I hated orphanages, hated them. And I just thought to myself, well, why don't I create a home that I would want to live in if I were in that position? So I started a children's home, and now today I'm the mom to 50 kids.
Well, you just can't say, I'm a mom to 50 kids. Because it just didn't happen like that.
I look good, right?
You look good for having 50 kids. Tell us about these 50 kids.
Well, we have an orphan crisis in our world. There's an estimate at about 100 million orphan kids. And for me, being that young and growing up in a very different reality, I just wanted, to try to do something.
Where are these kids?
Well, I was in northwestern Nepal.
Explain to folks, because people don't really understand Nepal. Most folks don't understand. How bad is it?
It's pretty remote. It's the most food deficit region of the entire world. There's an estimate 1 million orphan and abandoned children. It's coming out of a civil war and an earthquake, a lot of natural disasters, and just impoverished due to the fact that the Himalayas are there. So you have villages that are days and days walking from the nearest medical outpost or school or civilization or road. So it's a very remote region of the world, which makes it really difficult for women and children there.
So to be the quote-unquote mother of these 50 children means what?
Well, I go through the legal guardianship process for each of them. My oldest is now 17. I've had her for 10 years. And my youngest is 18 months, so I have the whole range, everything in between, the teenagers to the middle years to the babies.
How old are you?
I just turned 29.
You're kidding. We have so much in common. You really just turned 29.
Mm-hmm. I've been at it for about 10 years now.
Oh, my God. Blink now. The name. In the blink of an eye, we can change everything? Mm-hmm. Can we? People say you can't make a difference, you say.
We have to try. We have to start somewhere. You know, like, I'm just a normal, average girl who grew up in New Jersey. And I guess that's why I like to share my story, because I didn't know that this would happen to me. If you had told me I would become the mom of 50 kids, I would have never believed you in a million years. But I remember I was walking across this dry riverbed. I don't know how I ended up in Nepal, but I did. And I saw hundreds and hundreds of kids breaking stone. And that was their reality. Every day, all day, just breaking rocks. And I just thought, well, I can't do anything about these hundreds of kids, but how can I do something for one?
Was there one kid in particular? Wasn't there a 6-year-old child that you saw?
That was Hema. Yeah,
Hema.
That was the 6-year-old and the first girl that I ever enrolled into school.
Did she have a particular impact on you?
Yeah,
What did you see in her?
She just smiled at me, and it was this big, bright smile, and she said, "Namaste, Didi," which means big sister. And she was playing in a heap of garbage and trying to look for food and breaking rocks like that. And I was just like, look at how different we are.
But culturally, you're there, you're trying to be helpful, but you don't look like people there. They don't look like you. When you were saying, I want to do this, were there people who said, no, you're not going to, I don't want to be with you. Did you get resistance?
It happened really, really slowly. I think that's the key to remember. I learned the Nepali language. I'm fluent now. And I have a whole Nepali board of directors. We're now a team of 100 people. I'm the one who's from here, but
your nonprofit has a board. Mm-hmm. It has a staff. Mm-hmm. With an annual budget that runs. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, so it's a huge movement now, and this community that was once unable to care for its children has now stepped up, and they're doing the work. We have a women's center and a nutrition program and a medical clinic and a school, and it's all Nepali run. And we dreamed it up together and we built it together, which is, I think, what makes us unique and able to make the change in this community that needed to be made.
How did the CNN Hero of the Year award change your life?
Well, it's $100,000 in our pocket, and
you said in our pocket.
Me and the kids. Yeah.
What do you think it means?
Well, one, I think it'll share our story and just get more people to realize that education is the path and it's the way. And you see all this violence in the world, and to me, I look at the violence and I think those are kids. Those are children that weren't raised with love and food and nurturing and education. And of course, these cycles will continue to perpetuate, and violence and poverty will continue. So we have to stop it.
What I'm curious about is this. You're 29 years old. You're an incredibly young woman who's done so much. And you're also making a lot of people feel guilty right now for so little we have done, in all seriousness. Mm. Do you ever say to yourself, there are other things I want to do with my life that more traditional or normal?
Like dating?
like dating.
That's not going to happen anytime soon.
Why?
Well, I mean, there are definitely things that you have to put aside. Like, I'm not going to have a family in a traditional path in Mendham, New Jersey. Probably not. This is my life now. But I'm really happy, and I love what I do. And I go and I talk to kids and people, and I say, go find something that you love. Do something that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning. And
how about the kids you went to high school with? They're all in with you?
They are helping me a lot. They have all come out, all of my friends, and
family? Your blood family is like, hey, Maggie, you're doing a great thing?
They're the best. I mean, in the beginning, it was hard. I started with babysitting money. They were like, what are you doing? You're supposed to go to college. But now my sisters come out, and my mom and dad are really big supporters, and it's become a whole movement.
You are amazing. And I'm not one who likes to use that word because I think it's just incredibly overused in society. You are amazing.
Thank you.
And we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing what you're doing.
I will. I will. Thanks.
Thank you. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD, and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We are proud to introduce the $50,000. That's the biggest prize there is at the Russell Berrie Awards for Making a Difference. Our $50,000 winner, Regina Coyle. And Regina, were you surprised when you were recognized?
I was. You're caught up in the moment of everybody's wonderful stories. You have all these great people talking about what they do, and you feel a little bit insignificant compared to some of the other people. I mean, I help people in a flood, and I was there at the right time. But these people who do wonderful things constantly you just sit there and you go, okay, who's left?
Well, Regina's actually not doing a very good job describing what she did and why she was recognized. Describe the organization you're connected to, the parish house we were talking about.
Well, I'm the trustee at St. Margaret of Crotona Parish, and in Little Ferry, New Jersey. And it actually services Little Ferry and Moonachie. What we were actually doing was, after Hurricane Irene, we had a problem because people would not leave their homes with that.
That's a flood area, right?
That was a flood area, and people would not leave their homes because they had animals. So we decided, with the help of my pastor at the time, Father Art Humphrey, to make this, if we needed it, animal friendly. So in all the classrooms, we made tarps and papers and had dog bowls and had secured everything so that if push came to shove and this woman decided to hit us really hard, Sandy, we were prepared. We were actually, my boss, because it's a voluntary organization, was Detective Craig Hartless, and I had been up in Mount Fuji, something at Felician. We had gone for Halloween, a celebration, and a murder mystery, and we were planning what we were doing there. And we cooked. When we came back the next day, we had cooked enough food. We had everything prepared.
You were ready.
We were ready. We were ready for anything. We were ready for the storm.
But
after 125 people and animals in their classrooms and everybody secure, we had to evacuate within 15 minutes because the berms blew.
explain to the folks what that means. The berms blew. Never happened before. And so all of a sudden, it's like the levees go.
Absolutely. It's you read about how it happened in New Orleans and how it happened in other places, but it was us this time. And you heard the raging water come through, and we had 15 minutes to get these people out. And then a little ragtag group after that, who did not fit on the bus, stayed there for about 3 hours on top of tables as the waters rushed into the hall.
Did that mean everything that you had prepared was ruined?
The food, a lot of the food and everything, the stoves were gone. The cots we had put up on tables, which we had set up for dinner, but a lot of the stuff got hit when it moved from the force of the water. I mean, it was a very vicious water as it came through.
So you don't give up at that point, do you?
I refuse.
What do you do?
I'm a little Polish, a little bit Irish, and I refuse to do it.
And a lot Catholic?
A lot Catholic. I checked on my folks who were on one side of town. I knew
their house was adversely affected.
I had 6 feet of water and found a 3-foot carp in my basement a couple days later.
Did you lose your car too?
I lost my 2 cars. And as did most people in Little Ferry, because that's the way everybody got around. But my folks I checked on, and my dad and mom refused to leave the house. So my sister, who lives in New Providence, went up to Vermont and picked up a couple of generators, came back a couple days after we sat there with a little generator, and we survived. We put these generators to use. We heated Mom's house. I spent most of my days there, back and forth, checking on everything, and then people came to clean the church. They were there at the outset of the storm, so we knew that they were like storm chasers, but they were there to help us clean up. And we asked them to start at the hall first.
But hold on. You started getting people to come in to the parish hall, and at a certain point, between 250 and 300 people were coming into the parish hall as their place, that's where they were.
Was it? Actually, St. Margaret's is the center of the town, perhaps. It was the center of everybody's town at that point, because they could walk there. And they came with their carts and anything that they could bring. And people who heard that we needed it, Steve, came out and supported us no matter what. We had people cooking for us. We had people dropping off food, little things like paper towel and toilet tissue and just food that you could get through without cooking. We needed peanut butter and things like that. They dropped off cases. It came through UPS. It came through Walmart brought water in. The places brought cleaning supplies.
What was your role?
I was the mouthpiece. I was able to put everything together. The volunteers of Bergen County came through and got me more people to come and help. My phone number was given out, and we actually played a role. I played a role in putting it all together, getting the food at the tables, getting the things set up so that the people could come to a place where they knew it was safe, they knew it was dry, they knew it was in walking distance, and they could survive a little bit.
What made you know that you had to do this?
If not me, then who? There's no, I actually had the keys to the kingdom. Being the trustee at St. Margaret's, I had the keys. The pastor at this time was dying. He had melanoma, and he was in Villa Marie Claire. And unbeknownst to me, he was evacuated and moved around. He had given me the blessing to use all of the facilities that we had. And I think he's watching me today. I know he's watching me today. But he let us use it during Irene. So we just continued, and we made it a place where people could come to pick up things that they might have needed and lost.
What's the biggest message? You were the $50,000 winner today amongst some pretty special people, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I am humbled and honored that it was me.
Yeah, but you saw the reaction to you. What would be the message that you would want to share with everyone watching on public television right now who say, hey, that's amazing, that Regina, she's something, but I'm not that kind of person, you say?
Everybody really is that kind of person. You pay it forward just a little bit. Some people have it better than others. You just help one another. Mother Teresa used to say about the pebble, and that's what was spoken about today.
The ripple?
The ripple effect from a pebble. If you throw a pebble in the water, it has ripples. We can all be a pebble, but we certainly can be a ripple.
That's what Angelica said.
Yeah, that's what Angelica, and that's what Mother Teresa said too. We don't have to be the pebble, but you can be the ripple. Just keep it going. Just pay it forward.
You feel good about this?
I do, but God is good to me. God has been really, really good to me. My house is on the mend. Most houses in Little Ferry are still on the mend. We put forward great programs with the help of United Way, the help of Habitat for Humanity, who's working diligently to get these people to some set of normalcy. I don't know if there's going to be a normal for Little Ferry Moonachie. I don't know what a normal would be. I've got hope and healing, helping the kids get through the stress.
They deal with the mental and emotional, psychological issues of people affected by this storm.
And not just the children, but the adults too. And I think now we were very strong and very. Nobody wanted the work to be done in their homes because it was messy, and a lot of the people are very proud. My problem is now as this heat comes, we're going to have more mold coming up the walls. So our people are in it for the long run.
You are a role model for all of us, and you make a huge difference, and you embody everything that the Russell Berrie Award for Making a Difference was created to accomplish. So congratulations.
Visit us online at steveadubato.org. Email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/SteveAdubato, and follow us on Twitter at @SteveAdubato.
We are pleased to welcome Mr. Bob Carr, who's the founder of an organization called Give Something Back Foundation, also the CEO and founder of Heartland Payment Systems, and he is also joined by his colleague, Joshua Meekins, who is a 2014 graduate of the great Villanova University and also a staff member of the Give Something Back Foundation. It is an honor to have both of you here. Bob, give people a sense of what the Give Something Back Foundation is and how you got started. I don't want to say started in it. This is you. You started. This is your fault, by the way. You decided that you wanted to give something back. Why?
I received a scholarship when I was a senior in high school a long time ago, and it always meant a lot to me. Not so much.
Excuse me for interrupting me. A whopping $250.
But it wasn't the money. It was the recognition and the fact that somebody believed in me enough to do that. I got a plaque, and I always thought someday I'm going to have enough money. I'm going to give back.
Who gave it to you?
The Lockport, Illinois Women's Club.
You'll never forget that, will you?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Not even close. Because when I wrote him a check for $5,000, some 40 years later, I got a note back from the president, and she let me know that it was the 100th anniversary of the organization, and invited me to come in I'd been the only person ever in 53 years to give back, which stunned me. It just shocked me. And they were just fun people to deal with and very interested in educating disadvantaged kids. And so I went ahead and gave them $100,000, and we started what is now the foundation.
The goal is to help young men and women have an opportunity to pursue education, primarily on the college level.
Right.
But in your case, it was on the high school level.
Yes.
At which high school?
Princeton Day School.
Which had something to do with helping you wind up
In college.
going to a wonderful
Yes.
university at Villanova. How many students to date?
We have about 440 students altogether through high school, through college, in college, or in high school.
What's the goal?
The goal is now 2,000 students through college, debt-free.
How much money are we talking about?
How much money?
How much money that we talking each student gets?
The student doesn't get any money. We pay the university $20,000 per student. They get to invest that money for on an average 6 years.
Wow.
And the interest plus that money plus Pell Grant and state funds is that's our program.
What did it do for you?
What did it do for me?
What did it do for you?
Opens up doors and gives you a lot of opportunities you wouldn't normally have.
Talk about it.
And especially for me, I was born in Trenton, New Jersey, raised in that school system, went to Princeton Day School. It gave me a lot of opportunities, both academically, athletically, and just throughout educationally. I had a lot more opportunities, a lot more places to visit, a lot more people to talk to, a lot of things I wouldn't have seen normally. Got to visit colleges, things like that.
So let me get this straight. So you find out that there's this guy that has this foundation, and he wants to help young men and women pursue their education because he wants to give something back because someone gave him an opportunity a few years before. And you think what?
I think I have to give back myself. You get this gift that you're not really too sure who gave it to you and why they gave it to you.
Did you know who he was?
At the time when I first received it, no.
You did not?
No. I later found out who he was and what the story behind it was. And then that intrinsically instilled in me, well, if he cares about me, why shouldn't I care about other people? Why can't I give back to these people who are giving back to me?
Is that part of why you hooked up with the organization?
Of course.
To give back?
I knew I wanted to give back after graduating from Villanova. I just didn't know how I wanted to give back.
Do you owe?
Do I owe? What do you mean by that?
Do you owe? I don't mean any of money, but do you owe something to give back?
Yes, I believe I do. I believe I'm not a self-made man. I believe I was helped to where I need to be. So I need to give back intrinsically from that.
Do you feel, maybe owe is a funny word, but do you feel an intrinsic responsibility to give?
I think that someone who's fortunate enough to be as successful financially as I've been able to be, I can't think of a better thing to do. It's not out of a sense of I owe, is a sense of what better thing can I do? Buy another house? Buy a Bentley? I mean, I'd rather see a kid go through college. It gives me great pleasure. So you could argue that it's my own self-interest. I love doing it. It makes me feel great, and I think it's a great use of money. It keeps me motivated.
I want to be clear. Heartland Payment Systems. Describe it, because this is the company that's made a few bucks that has helped you do this.
It certainly has. Heartland has been a public company. It just has been sold, actually, for $4.3 billion.
I'm sorry. What was the number you just said?
$4.3 billion. We started back in the 90s and built a really nice company and processes payments, electronic payments. Became number 5 in the country behind the big banks, and we just got bought out, and so we've raised our goals to help even more kids now.
Yeah, by the way, this book, Through the Fires, an American business story of turbulence, triumph, and giving back, is Bob Carr's book. If he has the time after this, I would love you to sit down one-on-one and talk to us a little bit about the book.
I would love to.
Because it's an extraordinary story. The students who graduate, the students who go through it, do you keep connected to them?
We do, and Steve, let me say this. When we give these awards, I tell the kids 2 things. I say, you can never say for the rest of your life that you never got a break, because you just got a huge break. And all we ask of you is that when you graduate and you have time and or money to give back, that you give back, and that's how you're going to pay it forward.
That's what you ask.
We ask them to that right on day 1.
Give something else
Right.
back.
Give something back when you're able to do it.
What states are you in?
We've gone from 1 to 4 states this year, and we plan on going to a lot more. Started in Illinois, where I'm from originally, and we've added New Jersey, Delaware, and now Pennsylvania as 3 more states.
And a variety of schools, terrific schools you're connected to, right?
We're connected to 9 different universities now.
Shooting for 2,000 kids?
Yes.
When you were out there and you're meeting some of these young people who are comparable to you in age, just a little bit younger, what do you say to them?
I say you gotta want it. This is your chance to not have to worry about anything and just get your education and do what you need to do.
Yeah, but I'm curious about something. To what degree do you think the young people who receive this support, this help, feel more of a responsibility to work hard academically?
When you're doing your education, you're going through your work, you get those moments where you're not sure of yourself, but you know there's somebody who believes in you. And that person has believed in you enough to assist you this far, so you got to keep going.
How do the schools select them, Bob?
Well, we actually, Josh was in. We've had a number of iterations of this program
Sure.
over the last 15 years. The program that Josh was in, we paid for his private schooling, which got him ready in a big way for a great school
In Princeton.
like Villanova. That's right. But now we pick 9th graders, and we assign mentors to the 9th graders, and mentor them through high school. Make sure they take an academic curriculum that'll get them through college. They have to get a B average. That's the requirement. They have to be in good stead, conduct-wise. And then we put them through school, room, tuition, and board for 4 years. And our kids graduate. We have 95% graduation rate for freshmen that start in college. And we have an 87% success ratio of 9th graders starting and finishing high school with a B average. The program works. It's just, I can't believe how well it's worked, frankly. And we're expanding it, and it might deteriorate a little bit at the numbers, but the numbers are so strong right now. It's a real pleasure to run this program.
You feel good about this?
I feel terrific about it.
You want other people to give back as well.
I sure do.
People.
I sure do, and a number have too.
You mind if I tell people again about the program?
Please do.
It's called the Give Something Back Foundation, and the founder is this gentleman right here, Bob Carr, who's the CEO and founder of Heartland Payment Systems, and Joshua Meekins, graduated from Villanova, the Wildcats.
The Wildcats.
Right? 2014. I want to thank both of you for joining us and making a big difference in the lives of many. We wish you nothing but the best, and keep giving back and making a difference. You honor us.
Thank you, Steve.
Appreciate you being with us. Thank you, guys.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Cohn Resnick, the Fidelco Group, ADP, Meridian Health, Qualcare Inc., Caldwell University, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.